Colleen had just come off the phone. Mom has taken a turn for the worst and I need to go and take care of her. She may not have long now. Yes, you must, I'll come with you. That nice of you to offer, dear, but she has been moved to a nursing home. Under the circumstances, only I can stay in her room. You will be at a loose end, you should stay here at home. I'm going to miss you, but I understand you need to go. I took Colleen to the airport the following morning to catch the flight to Dublin. It will be a long day for her, with the flight and her onward journey by a series of buses. When I got home, I gave Anthony a call. Hi, Anthony, it's Anna. Are you free for lunch tomorrow? My treat. Nice to hear from you, Anna. It has been some time. Yes, I'm free. How about the Ivy? They've opened a new branch in town. Yes, I know. Colleen and I walked past it the other day. I have it in mind as I can dress nicely and not feel out of place. I'll book a table for noon. Looking forward to it. See you there. Let me tell you about Anthony. I met him a few years ago when he asked to share my table. The tea room was very busy that day, and of course, how could I refuse? Colleen was at work and I had taken the opportunity to dress up as Anna. Instead of just sitting around, I decided to go out for a walk. Everything seemed to be perfect with my appearance, and applying my makeup went exceptionally well. I reached the town center and had not encountered any problems. Everyone I passed seemed to accept me as a middle-aged woman. Which, of course, was the intention. I felt thirsty and emboldened by my experience so far, so I visited the tea room. We were both just drinking our tea, not browsing our phones or reading magazines, so inevitably we started talking about the weather, that sort of thing. It wasn't long before our conversation became personal. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony Brown. Hello, Anthony, I'm Anna West. Nice to meet you. I had never told anyone my name. I had always thought of myself as Anna. West just popped into my head. The tea shop was in West Street. So, Anna, what do you do? I'm recently retired. And you? I'm semi-retired. I have my own legal practice and I now just pop into the office for a few hours at the time. Are you married? I noticed he was wearing a wedding ring. My wife passed away earlier this year. I'm so sorry, my condolences. Thank you, I do miss her, but I've got used to being on my own. I do miss female company, but don't worry, I'm not seeking another wife or indeed a lady friend. Neither am I. I was relieved and then realized I had just thought of myself as a potential lady friend. Not seeking male company, that is, I'm married. My partner is still working but will be retiring next month. Well, then we can just become good friends. I think I'll like that, I replied before I realized what I said, again. When we finished our tea we left. There was a queue of people waiting for a free table, but neither of us seemed to want to go our own way. So we walked down West Street chatting. Time was getting on and I needed to get home and change before Colleen got home from work. I'm sorry, Anthony, it's been a lovely afternoon, but I must be getting home. Can I see you again, Anna? There is something I need to tell you. There was something about him that made me feel safe about telling him by secret, and I did enjoy the last couple of hours. It dawned on me that being taken as and treated as a woman is what I had been missing. If you are shocked and don't like it, then please just walk away. I understand, but I don't think I will be doing so. I'm not who I appear to be. I am happily married, but my partner is my wife. I'm her husband. She knows nothing of Anna. Anthony's jaw dropped and then he grinned. You are a lovely, personable woman, Anna. I would never have known. And I still want to be your friend, even more in fact. I don't want anyone to replace my wife, but as I said, I'm missing female company, but I think feminine company is going to be better. That is all you will get from me, the feminine company of a straight, happily married crossdresser. One who now knows she enjoys male company. I'll call you the next time I have the opportunity to be Anna. In the meantime, if you would like to have a lunchtime pint with Colin, I'm quite sure he would appreciate it. Yes, I would. Is he free tomorrow, say, noon at the Red Lion? He will be there. I have to go now. Sorry. I gave him a quick peck on his cheek, another first that seemed a natural thing to do dressed as a woman, and hurried home. We did meet, as Colin and Anthony, for a drink the following day, and we became good mates. Colleen was happy that I was getting out and not just moping around the house, especially after she retired. But it has been some time since I met Anthony as Anna, and with Colleen in Ireland I now had the opportunity. After my call I went up into the loft to where I store Anna. Fortunately Colleen couldn't make it up the ladder, so my secret life could stay hidden. I had already decided what I wanted to wear tomorrow. It was easy, I only had a few dresses, and I brought down what I needed. I checked everything and decided that the dress needs ironing and my underwear could do with an airing. I checked my makeup and toiletry supplies. I was short of hair remover, so I nipped into town to buy some. I brushed out my straw blonde wig, cut in an easy-to-maintain bob style that touched my shoulders. I suppose if I bought one now it would be gray and would be fashionably longer. I got up early, I was so excited. This was the first time I was going out on a lunch date. And that someone was Anthony. We had got on well as mates, we had a lot of common interests. So it bodes well that we could have a platonic relationship as a man and, let's say it, a woman, as good or even better than our relationship as mates. And I was going to do my best to impress, and of course for the sheer enjoyment of dressing and presenting as a woman. I had planned to just remove the body hair that would show, it being winter, but I ended up going all the way. It feels much better, and I'm not expecting Colleen home anytime soon, and I will have more opportunities to dress. The dress I had chosen was a fitted wool dress with 3/4 length sleeves, a round neck with mid-knee length. I've had it for some time, no doubt a longer length would be more common now and appropriate for my age, but I had good legs, so showing a little more when I sat was okay, and I liked it. The teal dress would be ideal for the ivy. I chose my lacy white bra and matching knickers and a white old-school boned underbust corset to pull in my waist and flatten my front. With my breast form suitable for my chest and the C-cup bra, I would have the pleasing shape of a stout but shapely woman. The dress was lined and the fit was not tight, so I didn't need my slip, but I wore it anyway. And finally a pair of sheer nude tights. I applied my makeup, enough to feminize my look and highlight my eyes, but suitable for daytime. I got dressed and put on my pearl necklace and my watch with a narrow gold bracelet. I was ready and it was nearly time to go. I had booked the table and I didn't want to keep my guest waiting. I pulled on my classic black pair of Italian knee-high boots with the 3-inch slender heels and slipped on my light gray overcoat. I nearly forgot my long white silk scarf. That's the problem nowadays, I can be forgetful. I buttoned up my coat and tied the belt and slipped my classic patent leather handbag over my arm, and I was ready to go. I had butterflies in my stomach as I left the house. We lived not far from the town center in a part that dated back to Georgian times. The high street wasn't far, so I walked. I did enjoy walking in my comfortable boots, and despite the chill in the air I was quite warm. Regardless that I was on time, Anthony was already there waiting for me. Of course he would be, he is such a gentleman. He stood up, put his hand on my hip, leaned forward and gave me a kiss on my cheek. "You look lovely, Anna." Normally, as mates, we would not even shake hands, let alone compliment one another. The receptionist who had shown me to my table took my coat as a waiter helped me with my chair. I could get used to this. I smoothed my skirt and unexpectedly felt conscious that the hem didn't reach my knees when I was seated. We had a great lunch. Anthony was the perfect companion. I was enjoying his company much more as Anna than as Colin. 2 hours passed quickly and I asked for the bill. I opened my handbag to take out my wallet and then I froze. I had left it at home. "I'm so sorry, Anthony, I have forgotten my wallet." "Don't worry, Anna, I'll get it. Besides, you paid for lunch last time." "I did?" "Of course, as Colin." "It's not just that, Anthony. I've also left my phone and keys on the hall table. I forgot to transfer them to my bag. I'm locked out of my home and I cannot contact anybody, and I've no cards, money and ID. What am I going to do? I don't have Colleen's contact details with me and I don't know when she will return home. And with no ID, and not looking like Colin anyway, no locksmith is going to break in without the owner's permission. Notwithstanding, how would I explain to Colleen that a strange woman was let into our house? Well, for tonight you can stay at my place in the guest bedroom. Are you sure? Actually, I would like that. We can spend the rest of the day together. My offer is to help a lady in distress, but I like it too. He paid the bill, how embarrassing, and offered me his arm and led me from the restaurant to his car. It was parked in his office car park, and I was astonished to see a Bentley Continental, from the 1990s judging by the number plate. He opened the passenger door for me and I slid in. I could get used to this. Colin's home matched the car. It was a secluded, detached mock Tudor house, a style that was fashionable between the wars, in a leafy, affluent suburb. Welcome to the Pines, an unimaginative name I know. He showed me in and took my coat, and we went through to his large kitchen. Tea? Yes, please. We sat and talked. He told me all about the house. I'm afraid Colin took over from me for a while and asked all sorts of questions about the car. I knew Colin wanted to drive it, just as Anna wanted to be driven in it. I'm afraid I've very little food in. I was just planning to have a sandwich. Dinner after lunch at the Ivy would have been too much. I agree. Let me see what I can rustle up. I do all the cooking at home. Well, I'm hopeless, so you are welcome. I made an omelette, which went down well with a bottle of wine. We did get round to talk about my predicament. And short of actually breaking windows, which would have set the alarm off and I needed my phone to disarm it, I couldn't go home for the time being. Anthony insisted I should stay until I could gain access or Colleen got home. We decided that in the morning we would go around and leave a note with Anthony's phone number and saying that I was locked out and staying with him. She knew Anthony and Colin were friends. It was very late when he showed me to the guest bedroom. You will find everything you need. Good night. See you in the morning. When I entered, I saw a long pink nightdress laid out on the bed with a matching negligee. There were even a pair of fluffy slippers by the bed. There was an ensuite bathroom with the usual toiletries and what I would need to remove my makeup. There were even cosmetics and various creams and lotions. Obviously, he assumed I would stay as Anna for the night and got the room ready while I was preparing our meal, and I wasn't going to disappoint. It will be the first time I will have slept en femme. I wondered where the nightdress came from. In the morning, I slipped on the negligee. I've never worn anything so feminine, and went down to the kitchen, hoping Anthony would appreciate seeing me not properly dressed. Good morning, Anna. He gave me a peck on the cheek. What a vision. I blushed. Well, this vision is going to fix your breakfast. Eggs again, I'm afraid. It's all you have. We were having coffee when I heard the door open. I panicked. Good morning, Mrs. O'Hara. May I introduce you to Mrs. Anna West? She is staying as my guest for a while. Her own home is, shall I say, unavailable. Mrs. West? Well, supposed that is better than being Miss West at my age. Good morning, Mrs. West. Nice to meet you. I liked her. I saw no hint that she thought I was a man or why I was in my nightdress. I had worn my bra to come down, as I wanted to look and feel right. Good morning, Mrs. O'Hara. Nice to meet you too. Please call me Anna. Yes, of course, Anna. Please call me Doreen, as Anthony does. Mrs. O'Hara indeed. Sorry, Doreen. But I thought you may prefer to be less familiar with a guest. He turned to me. You are my first guest since Mary passed away, and I wasn't sure. You should know me well enough by now, said Doreen. Well, if you would excuse me, I'll get on with my chores. After she had gone, I turned to Anthony. You do realize what you said. You introduced me as Mrs. Anna Brown. I like being taken as a married woman, by the way. And I am wearing this. I pointed to the negligee, and announced that I was staying for a while. That means, if I do, I have to remain dressed as a woman. I've only one dress, by the way. I was expecting to go and buy some men's clothes today so I could try and get back into my home, and I'll need them anyway if Colleen comes home before I can gain re-entry. Don't you want to stay here for a while as Anna? It didn't take me long to consider my answer. Actually, I think I would enjoy that. I did plan to spend more time as Anna while Colleen was away. But if she can't contact me, she may get worried. I think she will have enough to worry about with her mom, and will probably make several attempts before she may start worrying about where you are. You may be right, besides we did decide yesterday that I would leave a note for when she got home. That reminds me, here. He handed me a phone in a pretty pink case. You can have this, I've charged it up and topped up the SIM. It belonged to Mary. You can leave the number on the note and she can contact or message you directly. This is exciting, I thought. Anna is becoming real. She has a number. Thank you. You are very thoughtful. But I would still need some more clothes. Come with me. We went upstairs and entered what looked like his bedroom. This is the master bedroom. He walked over to a door and opened it. And this is my late wife's walk-in wardrobe. I have not got round to clearing it out, I just don't want to. You two are of a similar size and age, and judging from what you have worn so far you have similar tastes. You are wearing her favorite nightdress and negligee. You are welcome to wear anything of hers, in fact I hope you do. So that's that problem solved. I don't know what to say. Are you sure you don't mind seeing someone else wearing your late wife's clothes? Not, if it is you. I did have to think about this. On the one hand I should be making an effort to get back into my house and contact Colleen, and I do love her. On the other hand, this is like an Aladdin's cave. It would be a wonderful opportunity to try out all sorts of styles and clothes. It was irresistible. That's nice of you to say, and I would like to wear them for you. Wow, did I just say that? But first I must buy some men's clothes and go home and see what can be done. Okay, get dressed and I'll take you into town. Of course, if you prefer you can try some of mine, but I think they will be too big. It was warmer today, so I thought I could go without a coat. Later in town, when I was choosing my clothes, I thought this was strange. Here I was a crossdresser dressed as a woman buying men's clothes for myself. Kind Anthony paid for them, my debt to him is mounting up. Back at the Pines, I changed into my new clothes and then we went to my place. I couldn't find a way into the house short of breaking windows. I decided I can probably go a few days before trying such desperate measures. I left my note and we returned to the Pines. Anthony let me drive the Bentley, and for a brief moment I forgot all about my problem. Anthony, if I am staying for a few more days I need to do something to help. So why don't I cook for us? That's an excellent idea. Thank you. Now go up and change, before Doreen sees you. Good idea. Choose something of Mary's and then we can go to the supermarket. It was going to take ages to work through her things. I wasn't particularly comfortable wearing Anthony's late wife's clothes, but I needed to wear something more appropriate and wasn't sure how long I would be staying. So I quickly selected a black straight skirt that caught my eye and a gray roll neck pullover. I tried on some ankle boots, but they were a bit tight. I didn't think I would get very far in them, so I decided I would wear my own boots. I chose a short padded jacket in pale pink and a black crossbody bag. I wasn't sure about the pink, I would feel too conspicuous, but on the other hand it looked pretty and would go well with the black and gray. I took everything I had selected back to the guest bedroom. I thought I would wear my own underwear. I was amazed, it was a new look for me. It wasn't difficult, I have very few clothes of my own. I looked and felt amazing. I liked the way the short jacket hugged me and then flared out, emphasizing my waist and hips. The right balance, I was looking smart, yet wouldn't be out of place food shopping. I went downstairs ready to go. That jacket was one of Mary's favorites. I am so glad you chose it, said Anthony. He opened the front door for me. On the drive was a Range Rover Evoque. This was her car, I use it for running around. The Bentley would look out of place in the supermarket car park, even Waitrose. I thought it was funny. Here I was shopping in Waitrose just like a middle-class housewife, choosing what to buy, while Anthony pushed the trolley and scanned the items, just like a husband. A complete reversal of when I shop with Colleen. And to be honest, I preferred being the housewife doing the shopping than the bored husband accompanying her. I wasn't sure how long I would be staying with Anthony, so I bought enough to see us through the week. And yes, I did ask Anthony what he liked. He was paying after all. I reflected about wearing Mary's clothes. The outfit I wore fitted me well and I looked good, and I liked what I saw of hers. Her wardrobe became a big draw. I am a crossdresser after all, and up to now had very little chance to experiment with different styles and combinations, too expensive to get it wrong. Colleen would have wondered where all the money was going, and besides I had very limited secret storage. So I spent the next couple of days going through her wardrobe, trying things on like a little girl dressing up in her mother's clothes. She had everything I could possibly want, and for every occasion and season, and lovely lingerie. Some clothes didn't fit me well, my shoulders were wider and not all her bracelets would fit my wrists. But the biggest disappointment were her shoes, or rather my feet. I could wear her slippers, but my feet were otherwise too wide, and if I did get them on then they were uncomfortable. So slippers indoors, my knee-high boots outdoors. But my Italian boots were my pride and joy. Life settled down. I do all the cooking, although we often eat out, and on Doreen's days off I did the household chores, tidying up, making the beds. Mary's wardrobe became an addiction. I wore a different daytime outfit every day and changed for dinner in the evening. Anthony really appreciated it, and he said having a feminine presence in the house and a companion again was delightful. And I was delighted to be his feminine presence and companion. 4 weeks flew by. Other than the brief visit to my house, I have only dressed as a woman since leaving home for the Ivy. Before then the longest was usually 4 hours, and that was only a few times a year. I was even beginning to think that Anthony's late wife's wardrobe was mine. Then one morning I woke up with a jolt. I'm not a woman, I'm a crossdresser, I'm not Anna, I'm Colin, I'm not Anthony's housewife and lady companion, I'm married to my Colleen. I had become so absorbed with my new temporary life and I had forgotten all about trying to contact her by breaking into my home to get my phone. She must have left messages by now. And now I miss her so much it hurts. I felt so guilty, not about being Anna, but about not making the effort to contact Colleen. That morning I dressed in trousers for the first time and a plain top, partly out of guilt. But of course, I looked smart and still a woman. I have been wearing skirts and dresses up to now, but I had plenty of trousers to choose from as well. Now you do remind me of Mary, said Anthony when he came down to breakfast. She wore trousers and jeans most of the time. Anthony, I need to make an effort to contact Colleen. I placed his breakfast in front of him. I've been enjoying myself staying with you. I hadn't realized that a few days is now nearly a month. I don't think anything would have changed. She must still be caring for your mother-in-law, otherwise she would have come home and rang you by now. Even if only for a few days before returning to Ireland. But I'm now worried. I must do something. Why don't we drive past your house this morning? If there is any sign of her being there, we can come back here, you can change into the clothes we bought and you can go back home. If not, we can consider breaking in. We did drive past and saw no signs. I then plucked up the courage in Anthony and I went and checked the house on foot. I was fairly confident that the neighbors would not recognize that the woman of the couple who came to call was me. I don't even recognize myself now. I peeked through the letterbox and saw the post on the floor. Clearly nobody had been home since I left. Life continued, and I still didn't get around to arrange to forcibly enter my home. I wondered if it was because I was afraid my time at the Pines as Anna would end. Anna, I would like to invite some friends to dinner. They will probably stay the night, it is a long drive for them. I haven't invited anyone to stay since I've been on my own. Of course, would you like me to cook? Actually, I would like you to do more than that, I would like you to be the hostess. I would like that very much. Of course I would. I could dress up and I would be in my element. But who would you say I was? That's easy. I will introduce you as a very good friend of mine, which you are, and let them draw their own conclusion. They are liberal-minded and would have expected me to have made a woman friend by now. And I would be proud of you. And I would be proud to be your hostess and good friend. We have certainly moved on from being mates to this, though platonic, relationship as a man and woman. But it is not as if we are married or sleeping together. But you will have to buy me some shoes, I can hardly wear these slippers. You are worth more than a pair of shoes, my dear. I had a lot of planning to do, my first time as a hostess, and I wanted it to be perfect. At least I had a good role model, Colleen, and Doreen's help. I planned out the dinner menu and all those extras one needs when somebody comes to stay. I was going to cook everything myself, but I spent the rest of the day choosing a dress. Of course, I ended up trying on all my party and cocktail dresses, Mary's. There were some evening dresses as well, but I thought that would be too formal. I chose a black sequin-fitted dress. It was a simple dress, other than the sequins of course, but rather short in that the hem stopped just above my knees. But Anthony pointed out that I was of a similar age to Mary and I had great legs. The dress was off the shoulder and the neckline was low enough to show some cleavage. I knew from the internet how to create a realistic cleavage, despite my flat chest, so that wasn't a problem. I was rather proud of what I could achieve, actually. There was a full corset that she must have worn with this dress. It was boned and I was confident that not only would it pull in my waist, it would also present a flat front. I put on the dress and corset and went to see what Anthony thought. "You look splendid, darling. It's perfect for you. I've got an idea, come with me." We went upstairs to his bedroom. He opened a cupboard and on the shelf was a wig. "This is Mary's. She had chemotherapy and lost a lot of her hair. It is top quality and I would like you to wear it." I didn't know what to say. It was certainly better than mine, which was looking tired, and I would have needed to do something about it. It was an elegant long pixie style and would suit my age. The silver color would go well with my dress. "May I?" "Yes, of course." I took off my own wig. Anthony knew all about Colin's thinning hair and bald patch, and carefully positioned Mary's in its place. "Gosh!" exclaimed Anthony. He came up behind me, placed his hands on my hips and steered me towards the full-length mirror. My tummy flipped. The style suited me so well, it was perfect. "You look so much like Mary. I would like you to wear it from now on." Looking at myself in the mirror, I thought I would too. "You've never shown me a photo of Mary, and there are none around the house." He pulled out his bedside cabinet drawer and took out a framed picture. I was astonished. I looked so much like her, but she was beautiful. "She is very beautiful," I said. "Thank you, she was." He looked up from the photo. "You remind me so much of her. And that dress is one of her favorites. You have the same tastes." I wanted to change the subject, or tried to, but not the same size feet. I went into my wardrobe, Mary's, and selected a pair of shoes. They were black patent leather with a strap across the foot and one that looped around the heel and ankle and back. They had slender 5-inch heels. I'm not sure if I could handle them, but if Mary could, then I was determined to do so as well, and we were not going out. Besides, they were gorgeous. "You promised to buy me shoes. You can buy me a pair like these." They too were her favorite when she dressed up. "Get changed, we're going out." We drove into town and parked at Anthony's office. We then headed for an exclusive ladies' shoe shop. I hoped I could stand up to scrutiny. I did. Trying out the 5-inch heels did not betray me. Of course, Anthony would not stop at just buying the shoes we came in for. He also bought me a pair of ankle boots with heels. I couldn't resist them, a pair of patent leather court shoes in beige with 3-inch heels, for every day where I said, and black 4-inch stilettos for when we go out. Of course, he had no argument from me. When you drive into town in a classic Bentley, you can afford to buy your ladies' shoes. I was so grateful I gave a peck on the cheek as a sign of my appreciation. It was on our way back home that the enormity of what just happened hit me. I had just been bought 4 pairs of shoes from an expensive shop by a man. But not only had I thought it was a natural thing to do, as if I was his wife, and I had also thanked him with a kiss. And would I ever get to wear them before Colleen came home? You bet. Everything was ready. Doreen had prepared the guest bedroom and helped me in the kitchen. I had placed my own flower arrangements around the house and laid the dining room table. The dinner was ready, just needed final finishes and serving, and wine selected. Now I just have to finish dressing. I was already wearing my corset. I had done my toenails, as they would be on show as I wasn't going to wear any tights, or indeed stockings, and my beautifully shaped fingernails. They have grown while I have been living with Anthony. I did my makeup, I had a close shave first, but I applied foundation to be sure. I had been practicing and was becoming more adept at feminizing my look. I enhanced my eyes and applied bright red lip gloss to match my nail varnish. I stepped into the dress and I asked Anthony to zip me up. I liked the way the dress fitted me like a glove. He looked at my cleavage with astonishment and then grinned. Oh, I haven't mentioned, but I now get dressed in Anthony's bedroom as it is more convenient with all my clothes being there. I had got used to Anthony seeing me in my lingerie, and of course, we both are no strangers to men's changing rooms. Mary had a spectacular jewelry collection, of course she had. I chose a matching diamond necklace and wide bracelet. There was a pair of earrings. I had decided to get my ears pierced so I could wear her earrings, but had changed my mind. Too soon to have piercings. What would Colleen think? I slipped a diamond ring onto my ring finger, up next to my wedding ring, my real one that is. Finally a short misty spray of perfume and I was ready. I was in the kitchen just checking on everything when the doorbell rang. I took off my apron and headed for the hall just in time to see another glamorous couple. Did I just think of Anthony and I of being glamorous? He was rather handsome, just like Anthony, and she was wearing a floaty chiffon dress also in black like mine. She was elegant in that way us more mature women can be. "Welcome, glad you could come," announced Anthony. "It has been such a long time," replied the woman as she hugged him. She looked up and said, "And you must be Mary. How nice to meet you at last. Your photo doesn't do you justice, my dear. I love your dress, it suits you." I looked at Anthony as if to say, "Mary?" But he didn't bat an eyelid and then he surprised me with what he said next. "Yes, she is. And I agree she looks more beautiful in real life." He turned to me. "Mary, this is Charles and Fiona." Fiona came forward and hugged me followed by Charles kissing me on my cheek. Well, if I am Mary, am I his wife? Actually, I didn't have a problem, I liked it actually. And I wasn't being unfaithful to Colleen, was I? "Hello," I responded. "Would you like to freshen up? I could show you to your room." I could see 2 overnight bags on the floor beside them. Yes, it has been a long drive. The M25 traffic was crawling as usual. I blame those idiotic changing speed limits, and then there was a long delay on the Guilford bypass due to roadworks, said Charles. Why do men always talk about their car journeys? Forgetting, of course, I'm always complaining about the traffic when driving. "Mary, I am frightfully sorry, I should have asked you earlier. But Charles and I have been sleeping in separate bedrooms for some time now. He is a dreadful snorer, the poor dear, and I can't get a wink of sleep if we share." "Of course," Anthony said before I even had a chance. Although it is a 4-bedroom house, one of the bedrooms is used as a storeroom for Anthony's case files, and there are only 3 beds. We have 2 guest bedrooms, we just need a moment to get the second one ready. I gave him a look. "Come and have a drink first and then you can freshen up before dinner." While Anthony was serving the drinks, I rushed up to my room and removed my night things. I didn't know what to do with them, so I took them to Anthony's bedroom. Fortunately, all my clothes were in my wardrobe in his bedroom. The dinner went very well. Charles and Fiona were delightful company. My first dinner as a hostess was a success, even if I say so myself. As always, the men talked about men's things and Fiona and I had a long chat. I held my own. As a crossdresser, I knew all about fashion and I was able to describe my recipes for the meal. Fortunately, Fiona didn't press me when she found out I had never had children, on being a mother that is. Oh, and I proudly passed the heel test. And Charles didn't know whether to look at my legs or my cleavage. Anthony and I were having a nightcap after our guests had retired to their rooms for the night. "I'm sorry, Anna, I forgot myself when Fiona asked if you were Mary. You look so like her." And then I thought it would be too embarrassing to correct my mistake. I didn't know what was going on, but after the initial shock and confusion, I thought why not be Mary, be your wife, and I went along with it. And I was wearing a wedding ring and what looks like an engagement ring. I am proud of you and wouldn't be ashamed to be your wife. If I was a woman, that is, and not already happily married. I gave him a sweet smile and for some reason a quick kiss on his cheek, as if to reassure him. That is kind of you to say so. I know we are good mates, but when I see you as you are now I can only think of what could have been if you were a woman and available, as if it were. Well, let's not dwell on that. The important question is, where am I going to sleep tonight? Easy, you will sleep in my bed. You've had a long day and deserve a good night's sleep. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll be with you in the same room, if you don't mind. It would be confusing if they discovered me sleeping on the couch. Of course, I couldn't let Anthony sleep on the floor. He may be fit but not at his age. I told him to get into the bed too. It was wide enough for us to sleep comfortably apart. But I'm sorry to disappoint some of you. You are no doubt anticipating we would take advantage of the situation and take our relationship to the next level. I may be a crossdresser and enjoy presenting as Anthony's female companion, and this evening his wife, but Colleen is the only one for me and I wasn't curious. But I didn't return to my bedroom after the night. Anthony's bedroom, once the marital bedroom he shared with Mary, became our bedroom. I now slept in the same bedroom where I kept my clothes, which was convenient and natural. And I never took off the engagement ring. It had been Mary's and I felt the connection, as if I was her and that I belonged to him. We did become closer. We would have romantic dinners in restaurants. We would walk arm in arm. I would sit close to him when watching TV or listening to music. I even managed to wear one of my long evening dresses when we were invited to a dinner and dance. And we did dance, as Colin I had always led, but I just let Anthony take control, hung onto him and gracefully went round the dance floor backwards. Although we didn't socialize much, I was Mrs. Brown to those we met and they called me Mary. I wondered if Anthony had told anybody about the passing of his wife. Only he and Doreen called me Anna, which I preferred as it was who I was. But I was proud to be taken as Mrs. Brown, his wife. I had no income as Anna and needed somebody to buy me shoes. Is that not what being a wife is all about? Then one day, Anthony came back from the office, saw me and said, "Colin, what's happened? Why are you dressed like that?" Colleen's returned. She called the number I left. "Everything's okay. I'm off now. It has been a wonderful time, if I'm honest the best of my life, but I must get off home now. I've prepared your evening meal. You just need to stick it in the microwave on full power for 5 minutes. Thank you, Colin. Always so thoughtful and caring. It's been a wonderful time for me too." We shook hands. "Let me give you a lift home. I would love to meet your wife. We are best mates after all. You will love her. She is my best friend and you will see why. But you are my best male friend and, as Anna, I'm very fond of you. I'm fond of Anna too, but I don't want to come between you and your true love. You are too good to me. I may no longer be living as your woman, but I am a crossdresser. So sometimes instead of us just meeting down the pub, perhaps I could come round and check out my wardrobe." "I would like that. Anna's things will always be here for you, as will I." A week later I met Colin in the pub. "Some good news. You know you had promised to take Anna away for a weekend to a country hotel." "Yes, I did. The offer still stands, but can you get away? I think you will need at least a week to include getting ready, packing and unpacking on our return." "I can do better than that. Colleen needs to go back to Ireland for at least a month. I think that gives us plenty of time to play husband and wife again."